Howdy y'all, Fast Force 289, welcome back. In this video, we'll be working on my 1977 Ford truck and we're going to be putting fog lights on here. I already installed the fog lights on the bumper, mainly just to see if I like the way it looked. There was already holes in the bumper, so I just utilized the holes that was already there from the previous owner. So it worked out perfect for me, and it's the old style fog lights. So let's jump into it and get started. You can see here, this is the fog lights. I actually found these laying around in my garage. This is, I don't know how old they are, but I would say they're pretty old. They got actual glass amber lenses with a regular incandescent bulb, and I'm probably going to upgrade to LED in the future. A chrome housing, and they got a little bit of rust pitting, but nothing bad. You can tell these haven't had much wear. I just cleaned them up with a little bit of Neverdole, and they look good. All right, so how these lights hook up is they got this wire with these bullet connectors on here. So I just went and got me some of these terminals that the receiver for the bullet connector, and then I can hook it to my wire and it'll plug right in like it's supposed to. As far as what wire I'm gonna be using, I'm gonna use 16 gauge wire. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run the wires down here along the radiator support and up through this factory hole that goes to the radiator support that comes out right here. And I'm just gonna zip tie the wire around and follow it along and go through a hole that's already in my firewall that other wires are run through. And then that's how I'm gonna hook that up. Now what I'm gonna do is, technically anytime you have a power source like this, you wanna use red wire. I'm gonna use black because it's my truck. I'm the only one that works on it. I'll know what it is. And I use black so it blends in better. I don't want a red wire sticking out that looks out of place here. The black will blend right in with the black factory tape and it'll just go with the flow. You won't even really notice it. So that's what I wanna use black wire for. But if you're somebody that, you know, don't work on your own vehicle and you have other, or even if you do work on your own vehicle, but you have other people work on it for you, you may want to use red just so then it will alert to them, okay, this is a power wire. So it's going to something that has power going to it. So, but not a big deal in my case, like I said, because I don't know what it is. They're both 16 gauge, but I'm going to use black just so it blends in better. All right, so the switch I'm going to be using to hook these fog lights up are a 3-terminal switch. It lights up whenever you engage the power, turn the lights on. This lights up amber. They had different colors. I picked amber to match the amber fog lights. And if you don't know how to hook one of these up, it's very simple. It tells you right here you have power, load, and ground. So ground is obviously a given. That's a ground. You find a good chassis ground. The power is the power coming out of like your fuse box, coming into the switch. The load is whatever you are trying to power. So in other words, the fog lights would hook into this terminal. So your power wire in the vehicle would hook here, the power going in. The power coming out of the switch is here to send signal to the lights to turn them on. And then whenever you do that, this will turn this light here on to let you know that there is power going through the switch and lighting or engaging whatever it is that you have hooked to the switch. Very simple, nothing to it. What I'm going to be using to make my bracket is this piece of aluminum angle iron, or angle aluminum, I mean. And I'm just going to cut me a section out of here to mount this switch to. So then when it's in the truck, you know, it'll look like that. All right, now I got my bracket cleaned up. I just used a hacksaw because it's soft aluminum, so it's easy to cut, and I just used a file, clean it on up. Looks pretty good. So now we can get ready to figure out where to drill our hole. So it has to be in the center. Now, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could measure how wide this is, you know, how tall that, because this fits, like it just fits perfectly in this bracket. So, and I want it to fit as tight to the top as possible, so it'll be like that. Well, to do that, you could measure the width here, find the center point, and then do the same for here. Or if it's easier for you, you could always just set it in here like this. You know, make sure it's pretty flat to how it would sit. And you come in here with it like this and go to the edge of your hole and mark it on the edge there and the edge here. Find the center, or you could just eyeball it and go in the center of this right here and then come over and mark it. Now to figure out how far over you got to go, that's when I would, for that at least, take a measurement, you know. That way you can get a better understanding of where it needs to be. Or you could do it like this. You got your bezel here, this is where it's got tightened down, so I know I don't want it hanging over the edge like that. So I could just bring it in a little ways like that and mark it, and then that'll tell me where to drill the hole. You could do, so it'd be about the same thing. Just line it up like that, get it close. And the reason why I'm offsetting is because my screw's gonna go here. And like I said, with this being so deep, if I don't offset it, it'll hit the screw. So that's why I'm offsetting it like this, like that. And then just go in here and mark the center, and you're good to go. All right, so I went in and got my, punched my center mark where I want to drill it. I'm gonna use an 1/8 inch drill bit as a pilot bit to get me started. And then open on up to a 1/2 inch hole. All right, now that we got our hole drilled and I filed the rough edges down to make it smooth, we can see if our switch fits like it's supposed to. And look at there. It's exactly what I wanted, just like that. Now the good thing is this is an adjustable switch, so we can adjust the depth of it to however deep I want to have it protrude from the bracket here. So I probably want it about even, honestly. I could keep it like this. That would work too. But I think I'm gonna even it up a little bit more. So to do that, they provide you with this lock washer and this ring. You just turn that ring out, or that nut, I mean, out until you get the desired depth that you want. That's where it'll stop. That's probably about where I'm gonna want it, somewhere around in there. There we go. And that's about how it'll look once it's installed. It's got a nice flush look to it. So once it's installed in the truck, yeah, it'll look nice. And it fits perfectly in the bracket here. And the good thing is this is close, but it's sticking out enough I can still get my terminal on here and it'll slide underneath that bracket. And it's a ground, so it don't matter if it touches this bracket or not. So that's good. All right, now I got my other hole marked. I'm gonna go drill it out and open it up to a 1/4 inch hole for this bolt to fit through. All right, so I got my hole drilled, got it cleaned up where it's nice and smooth, took the burrs off. Fits perfect. All right, so while we're already here, I'm gonna go ahead and make my ground wire for this. And the way I'm gonna ground it is just ground it to the bracket. So it'll just be a real short wire to go from here to here, almost like a jumper wire kinda. There we go. Now our ground is ready to go. Just like so. I just gotta run the power wire and the wire for the lights. Alrighty guys, well, I got the wires all ran. You can see here how I put that black wire in here, ran it right through that hole. I ran it down in here and underneath the truck like how I wanted it, routed down the radiator support there across and came up through here and went through and just followed along that wire there and just zip tied it all the way back to the back. And then it goes to the firewall there. All right, to give you a look from underneath the truck, you see this is the passenger side. It's got it hooked in here. It comes through a zip tie to a factory hole here, running along the radiator support, around the bolt. It comes up, zip tied here. I made my own little wiring harness here. I just spliced these two wires together. This wire is going to the other fog light coming in here, spliced into a terminal to this first wire, and then spliced let's say I splice these two wires together. This is the wire going up into the firewall, to the switch. And if we come around to the other side of the frame, you see I got it around over the frame, underneath the radiator support, then over my water shield here, between radiator support and water shield, behind this bolt. So it comes up like through here, comes out right here, and it goes up around the headlight bucket bracket, and then goes right on up there to the to that factory hole that I was showing you. If we come inside the truck, you can see I got my switch mounted right here on this bracket that I made, and it fits perfectly in there just like I wanted it. A nice small bracket. You can see that it lights up. I got it where it comes on with the key on only, so it don't come on in accessory. It only comes on with the key on. I can turn it on and off as I want to. All right, and if we look up in here, you see the switch here, how it's mounted. So this is the ground like I showed before, how it's looped at the top here, that loops around and just comes ground to right here. This is your load wire, which would be light wire. And you see how it's the black wire going straight on through. I got it routed over steering column and going through the firewall. And here's the power wire. I made the power wire that's actually got the power coming into the switch red to, since it's underneath the dash, you won't see it, to note that that is in fact a power wire. This is technically a power wire going to the lights, but it's power coming out of the switch, not going in. So this is power coming in when the key is on. And I just tapped it into, I don't know if you can see it, this up there a little ways, but I tapped into a factory plug that had power. I just tested the plug, see if it came on with the key on, and it did, so I just tapped into it. See, it's way up there in a plug I tapped into. So, and it's as simple as that. It's easy to hook up one of these switches. And now my fog lights work like they're supposed to. All right, you can see here, they're lit up just like they're supposed to be. And it just kind of helps complete the look of this truck, I think. And there's a look with the parking lights on with the fog lights. And see, it just goes with that truck. I think it goes with this truck so well because it's got that off-road 4x4 look, and so it just completes the look. I think it looks really cool. I'm happy with the way that turned out. That looks good. All right, guys, well, that's all there is to it. That's done. It turned out really well. It was real simple to wire that switch up. Like I said, it's nothing to it, and that's how you light up one of those lighted switches. And it's a nice feature because now whenever switch is turned on, it'll light up to let you know that it's on. So that's a nice feature. And like I said, I picked the amber because it matches the amber fog lights. So I thought it just goes with it. They had different colors, green, red, blue, all kinds of colors. So I picked that one. I got it from O'Reilly's Auto Parts. And yeah, so I just did this. I don't need fog lights where I'm at, really. It don't really get foggy where I'm at that much. I just did it more or less of a cool factor. I already had them. I found them in the garage. They're old school. It goes with the truck. So I was like, hell, why not put them on, right? It's something kind of cool, something different. And that's why I did it. But yeah, it's real simple. So if y'all like the video, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'd always appreciate that as well. And I thank each and every one of y'all for watching each and every day. I think that is great and amazing. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the drop box down below and I'll get back to you. And that's it. So thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.